Welcome to IronAuthority.com's Berserker Strength Radio with your hosts, Brady Stewart and Josh Hunt. Berserker Strength! Hey, Berserker Strength Radio listeners, this is Brady Stewart.
And Josh Hunt, two of you.
All two of us. We are, the topic of discussion today is it's going to be adding value to strength sports or adding value to
life,
to life. Just whatever you're passionate about. It's about adding value to it, essentially.
Like adding hot sauce to fried chicken.
Yes, it's like a force multiplier of deliciousness.
Force multiplier.
Yeah, think about it.
Wow, you just made a math joke.
I did.
Wow, you're staring at me intently. So, yeah, we're going to talk about adding value. So, Brady, why don't you kick it off? This is kind of your brainchild, so do it big.
All right. So, I do not frequent forums. I hate forums. I think
like in general or for powerlifting?
Just in general. I hate it.
It's a lot of people just bitching about stuff.
It automatically it gets me fired up because there's a bunch of just ignorant
misinformation
people out there, and there's a lot of misinformation, and I'm just better off just staying away because I'm just going to get more fired up, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
No.
I would rather spend my time training hard in the gym.
Yeah, agreed.
But anyways, one topic, and this was actually on the Face Space. Facebook.
Yes, the thing that ruins lives.
There was somebody that was talking about payouts at competitions and
like for monetary
money
payouts,
or trying to get some kind of special prize money. Or
yeah, because that's going to happen. Because you make a lot of money running marathons.
Yeah, so and what's funny is this person was like, oh yeah, I'm and it was a lady, and it's not.
Was that your lady voice?
It was the lady. That's pretty good.
That's a terrible lady voice. Yeah.
Do I sound like a lot lizard?
When you hear yourself, you're going to sound like a lot lizard that smoked like 20 cigarettes a minute.
I heard about a lot lizard a couple weeks ago that actually took payment in Skittles. Like handfuls. This guy.
Did they have to be a specific color? Like, I will only take red and yellow Skittles.
No, they just had vats, like buckets full of candy. And the guy, yeah,
it's an it.
And the guy said, "Yeah, just grab as much as you can. Whatever you can take, you can have it. And
put that in your saddlebags."
Anyways, how did this? We're
It was your girl voice. Okay, so we're talking about adding value.
It's all about adding value to
payouts. That's why.
So this girl, she's on Facebook. She's talking about how she feels underappreciated as an athlete because she feels like what she does is.
Can we call her Nancy?
We can call her Nancy.
Nancy.
I don't know what her name was. Anyways, so Nancy, she's kind of bad mouthing meat promoters. And saying, why don't meat promoters give us more money and increase the cost of competing and our entry fees? And I'm thinking, what are you doing to bring money to the sport? Because last time I checked, there's barely any money.
Well, yeah, there's no money, and like I don't know, you may bring one or two friends, and that's like $5 a pop. Like I've had like a couple friends come to sport, which thank you very much, but our meat promoter made like $15 off of maybe.
Yeah,
it's like nothing.
I mean, and really like adding value to it. What are ways that these people can add value to the sport?
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm thinking, well, number one, they can help out at meets. If you are not helping out at a meet, and you're the same person sticking your hand out looking for cash or looking for sponsorship or whatever, you're the person we're talking about.
Well, I'm going to even break that down. If you're the person not helping out on the meet and you compete in meets, like you're just as bad. I mean, come on. Someone needs help squatting. Someone needs help, loading the bar, deloading the bar, things like that. You can't be a coach for one person unless, it's some ridiculous like person with an entourage and then expect that people are going to be willing to help you. I've been in meets where if it wasn't for me and a couple other people, they probably would have gone off. And then you see the same people show up and they're not helping out. They're not paying the freaking dues.
So it's funny because it's like, well, so you want to get paid essentially just based on your skill alone.
You went into the wrong profession.
Nancy, you aren't strong enough.
You went into the wrong profession.
Yeah, it definitely went into the wrong sport. This, and I'm not saying that powerlifting will never get to that point where people can't get, paid an honest salary or wage.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if it'll ever happen. It may not. Who knows?
I'm going to go with no.
But I have a problem with people whining and complaining about it when they're the ones directly contributing to there being a lack of money in the sport.
Yeah. I mean, you're pulling from the pot.
Yeah. So, people need to quit. They need to quit it with the idea that they are entitled to cash because they think.
Well,
that
I mean,
they're that
entitled
good.
to anything. I mean, you're paying for the right to go compete against your fellow competitors and things like that. You're paying for that venue. You're paying for the ability to have food and vendors there. You're paying for people to like make sure that if you drop the weight, you're not going to die.
Yeah. And let's be honest, meat promoters, if anybody deserves the cash, it's the meat promoter.
Yeah. They're the ones doing all the work.
Yeah, they're creating the competitive avenue for us to compete in, and for us to test our mettle on the platform.
I would even expand it out past powerlifting. I mean, I've been involved in like bicycle racing promotion and stuff like that, and these are thankless jobs. They really are. I mean, when's the last time you shook the dude's hand that put on the meat?
Yeah.
Like say, hey, thanks, dude. I really appreciate you giving this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, it costs X amount, but, rock on. Really appreciate it. Without you, we would have no forum to test our strength.
Yeah, and even with the spotters and loaders, they're donating their time.
Yeah, you get
for nothing.
Yeah, you get like 2 hot dogs and a Coke, which is, thank you. I'm hungry.
And at least they're adding value to the competition
Yeah.
because if they didn't exist,
It
or
wouldn't
weren't there,
happen.
the competition wouldn't even be there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I mean, no matter what it is, whether it be training, whether it be life, what value are you adding? What value are you adding in a relationship, being romantic or friendship or whatever? Like, that's where you got to take a step back and like look at what you're providing.
Yeah.
Are you making someone better?
Yeah.
Are you
And
making
really,
yourself better?
And this ghost person we're gonna name Nancy.
Nancy.
Don't get Nancy in your pantsy. Listening
Stop
to
being
this.
such a Nancy.
Yeah, it's you people like that. I don't want to point the finger, criticize people too much, but
You will.
I am. I'm gonna do it. It's you want to be paid for something that you do recreationally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I would love to be paid to collect comic books.
Unless you're, and even this is all sports, baseball's included. Any pro sport, unless you are an elite level or world class level athlete. If you're above elite, if you're world class, those are the people that are probably going to get paid
or have the best argument to be paid.
Don't think that. Don't think when you go into a local level meet, don't expect a cash payout. It's if you want cash in powerlifting at that level, just go ahead and bring it to the local level. Go out there. And
Stop
how
doing
many
it.
businesses have you talked to bring money into the sport? And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take money. It's going to take money to make money. And you're not going to just automatically just bring money in from nowhere. You got to go out there and bring it to the sport.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even know if that's feasible. I mean, currently as it stands right now, this is a place to go and be able to have a venue to test yourself, and this is what you train for. This is what you compete for. It's a forum.
And I, for one, kind of, and I'm a sponsored athlete. I'm a paid athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really like when you
Other than tacos,
other than beef tongue tacos,
delicious,
is going to an event and money not being on the line.
Yeah,
because to me, it strips out all the vanity.
It's pure.
It strips out all of the
competitiveness at the purest level, right?
All of the fashionable ideas people think that they have that exist about powerlifting strips that all away. And what it boils down to is who lifts the most on the platform.
It's you versus the damn weight.
And if you show that you're passionate enough and you show that you're good enough and you prove that on the platform, money's going to come to you. But it's not going to be overnight. And you have to go out there and get it for yourself. And get it for the sport. Share it. Share what you have with the people that you know.
Yeah,
and the people that take care of you.
Yeah, because none of us are doing this for the money. I mean, there is no money to be had currently.
Yeah.
This is something that's a love, maybe something beyond it. This is part of your life. So why are you taking a dump all over it because you're not getting a monetary prize? I mean, I'm friends with marathon runners, Ironmen, all kinds of different competitive athletes, and you pay to do this. You pay for the right to do this. You pay for officials to be there, support networks. You pay for the travel to get there. You pay for the equipment. You're investing your time. it's a very selfish thing to want something back other than bettering yourself.
Yeah, and the sport's already selfish enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's you versus you. I mean,
it's all
how
you
much more
when you're on that
egotistical
platform.
can you get?
Yeah, and it's about personal growth, personal improvement, personal strength.
Or should be.
And that's what it should be about. And I kind of think that if people took a more positive approach to their sport or their passion,
Are we making a segue?
maybe.
Huh?
I think if people made more of a positive approach to the way they do things and the way they carry themselves, I think a lot of this will hash itself out. And I think, you got to think about the laws of attraction. If you want to attract money to a sport or anywhere, any venue, if you want to attract money, you have to become almost a lure.
Yeah, and you bring up that point. I mean, we've all hung around, I'm middle class, Brady's middle class. We've hung out those rich, pretentious people, and that they're trying to lure that air in, and like I don't want to see that in something that's just so primal that is powerlifting. It's a very raw sport. I don't want anyone floating in there just because there's money to be had, purse to have. This is prideful. This is kind of underground, and that's what keeps it pure and beautiful.
Yeah, and that's very true. It's a good point. It's a good valid point, and one thing that I absolutely it grates my nerves.
Does it really grind your gears?
It grinds my gears.
Grinds
dude. It just messes up my hair when I see guys at competitions and they just look so sullen or downtrodden, or they're so attitudinal to the point where you can't even say hi to them.
Ah, yes, the attitude.
Yeah, it's the attitude.
And we're not talking about the Misfits song, which is quite an amazing song. No, I'm right there with freaking Brady. There's this air about our type of athletes, and there's a draw to this particular sport, and I really kind of get disgusted with I'm tough, I can lift a lot of weight.
Yeah, and
just because you can lift a lot of weight don't mean you can take a punch. So mellow out, just enjoy yourself, man.
And to have the attitude that you're a juggernaut. That's a good attitude to have on the platform.
Mentally, yes.
Mentally, you got to be ready.
But
to
to
go.
carry that over into like how you interact with people, like, come on.
Nobody remembers somebody. Nobody remembers a douchebag.
Well, no, you remember the douchebag. You just don't like the douchebag.
Yeah, and you'll. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, like they're indelibly marked in your brain. But you're like, that guy. I'm not going to have a beer with that guy. I don't want to share a freaking pizza with that guy.
It doesn't matter how good he is.
The things we do after the meet when we're just jovial and like talking about our accomplishments. Maybe crying a little bit because we failed, but hey, you went out there and tried. And you're enjoying like your company, whether it be at the national level and there's people that you haven't seen in forever. But you don't want to invite that dick, come out like, hey, and just be a sullen jerk.
Yeah, and it's and think about it from a sponsor's perspective, from money, from big money, for a corporation. If they see that, if that's their first taste of powerlifting, what are they going to do?
Oh, they're going to
close
run
the
away,
doors.
man. They're going to go down like British Nikes.
So attitude directly affects, in my opinion, where our sport could end up being someday.
Yeah.
And everybody that listens out there, whenever you talk to people, I don't care who they are, just treat them with the respect that you would want them to give
the
you.
old golden rule.
Yeah, it's the golden. I mean, it's honestly, like, you follow the golden rule in just about every way you can in life. Good things are going to happen to you.
But I mean, when it comes down to it, most of the people that I met that I enjoy in the sport, they're really humble people. Like, they're proud of their accomplishments. There is ego, because there's ego involved no matter what. But I mean, they're nice people. They want to go out and hang out and talk about how they did well and how they can better you. And it's the jerks. It's like the guys that are talking some smack behind people's back, like not in a good way, and are just it kind of ruins it. Like, and attitude is a really, really big, broad spectrum.
I don't care if you are the best. If you have this attitude that you're God's gift to strength sports, nobody's going to respect you ever.
Well, you're probably also one of those guys, when you fail, because we all fail, it's going to crush you and throw you to the side. It's like when when you fall in love for the first time and you get your heart broken, like you're just like, you're done. It takes you forever to get back in the game.
Yeah. And kind of piggybacking onto that, it's the type of athlete that I really hate the most is the athlete that doesn't hit the total or the lift that they wanted to lift, and then they throw a tantrum and they turn into a diva and their world is crushed.
Oh yeah, just they can't
People
take
just
defeat.
getting pissed off and
like
cursing.
They're raised from some hippies. Oh, you're all special. No matter what you do is awesome.
Yeah, is it too hard for them to swallow
Yeah.
That is as best as they could have lifted.
Yeah.
Because that's what they earned. They earned what they got on the platform.
Yeah, because it's you against you. I mean, when it comes down to, if you've been involved in sports, you've failed at some point. You've lost. And being able to learn something from that is a skill. And being able to fail humbly, and like sometimes that actually needs to happen, and you need to be, it will slap you in the face and be like, well, I need to program my lifting better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And it kind of goes on to the idea that what you do in competition on that day, I don't care how bad it goes, that's the very best. That's the very best you could have done. If you could have done better, you would have done better.
This is true.
And you've earned the total you got. So
and maybe you shouldn't have ate a whole box of kudos beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
But, instead of getting upset at the total you get, look at it and reflect on it. Analyze
learn
it.
something from it.
Yeah, you can learn more from a failure than you can from a win. But you can learn more from a failure than you can from a victory.
Oh yeah.
More so.
It's going to open you way up
if you let it. But if you sit there and let's say you're going for a 600-pound squat and you fail, don't act like it's the end of the world. Figure out why you missed it.
Well, I mean that gets into realism and self-awareness. Like, hey man, like I'm a all right squatter. I'm squatting low fives, and like I can't expect to go into the bar tomorrow and squat 600. Yeah. So why are people doing this at meets?
Yeah, it's a phenomenon I haven't understood. Is I think a lot of times people just want to show it off instead of going 3 for 3 or 9 for 9.
Don't they show it off when they wear beautiful singlets, custom handmade singlets?
You know what's funny, Josh, is
yes.
We're gonna talk about Josh for a minute.
God,
talking about showing off. This guy, he'll show up to the weigh-ins with his Captain America underpants.
Oh, dude, they give me strength. They're made out of vibranium.
No, but then Josh is the same guy who's gonna wear a purple singlet with a pink snakeskin belt.
It's pink and black, like the pink and black heart attack, and yes, it's badass. Thank you, Titan, for creating an awesome color.
See, and that kind of goes on what we're talking about is Josh's attitude on the platform. And let me get something straight about our podcast, okay? Before you turn us off, is that we want to talk about the serious side of strength athletics, but we're also going to talk about the not so serious side
because it should be fun.
It's you got to love what you're doing. If you're not loving what you're doing,
why are you
shouldn't be doing it. But anyways, what's cool about Josh is he takes himself lightly and he's able to wear he's able to look like a Damian Sandow on the platform.
Yeah, but not as smart.
And with not as good of a beard.
No, not now.
But he's able to get up there and give it all he's got. And it's not, and to Josh, I'm sure it's not about what he's wearing. He's just doing that just to pick the mood up.
I'm doing that to make myself smile and make other people smile. But when I'm approaching the platform, I'm as serious as an effing heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do it the best I can. And when I fail, which I do sometimes, and, I'm going to take that back. And, like, I know if I lifted my butt off the bench, I know I'm listening to Brady or whoever is watching me, Dana, and they're going to give me feedback. And I'm going to let them help me pick the weights. I'm going to, try to be as humble as I can because they're going to know what's best for me.
Yeah. And, it's a good thing to approach conversation with people if you have that humble attitude. Because they're gonna take more from you with your interaction. They're gonna take more from your conversation.
It's not forcing it upon them.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've always felt that 9 times out of 10, whenever I go to competitions, I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're a class 4 powerlifter or a Master of Sports International class powerlifter. If I'm gonna have a conversation with somebody, I'm gonna learn more from them than they're gonna learn from me. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this is why, is because I have an ability to open my ears and close my mouth. I don't have to hear myself talk. I don't have to go there and tell them how good it is what I'm doing. I can listen to them, take their experiences, and learn from them. And what's funny, more often than not, I'll go to a competition and I'll damn near bench the world record, and then I got somebody telling me how I need to train.
And don't you love that?
And it's like it used to fire me up, and then it's like, you know what, these people just don't want to point the finger, but it's just people like that they're holding themselves back.
Well, I mean, you're going to run into that in so many situations. I mean, I think we've all lifted in public gyms, and some guy will come up to you and say, "Hey, I read this," and blah blah blah, and then you'll ask them, "How much do you bench?" And they'll say, and it'll be under what you do, and it's like, how am I ever going to glean anything from you? Like, yeah, I'm going to listen to you. Maybe treat you as a bad example, so I know what not to do.
Yeah.
You should be approaching the person that's strongest in the weight room and asking them what the heck's going on.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
and the mentality that a lot of people run into is that most people want to think what they know is
it
right
the truth
and is perfect. And I'm telling you, people, training is not set in stone. Training is not religion. Training
should not be dogmatic.
Your body doesn't care what method or what principles or philosophies you use in the gym. The platform only cares about how strong you are. So anything that you do should be solely based on moving yourself forward.
Yeah, I mean that's the intent, right? I mean, you can only do what you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're a better person tomorrow than you are today, that's a victory that you've won.
Mm-hmm. And you can have the most perfect training program for the masses. Bottom line, you got to figure out how to train yourself, and you got to learn how to listen to people, decipher language, decipher conversations with other strength athletes,
nuggets of information
understand that what they're saying is not perfect, but you can pull from it and learn from it. Well, and that's at honestly any level. I can learn from people at the most bottom level all the way up.
Yeah, I mean that's getting to any aspect in life, really. I mean, when you're talking to someone and you're having some sort of deep analytical conversation, there's going to be chaff and there's going to be, grain, and you need to decipher for what you want to do, what's chaff and what's grain. Yeah. I mean, whether it's, religion or what you want to believe or, something that will improve upon yourself. That's what you need to do. Bad information, you can learn from that too.
Yeah. For example, what does Jeff Snyder do? Jeff Snyder does whatever Jeff Snyder wants to do.
Just punching hippies?
If that's what it takes for Jeff Snyder to bench what he benches, then he's punching hippies.
Isn't he fueled by Whataburger double meats?
You probably just gave Jeff a joygasm right now.
Dude, he's going to go mouth bang some burgers.
Anyways. But yeah, and I don't... This is funny because this is our first podcast, and the last thing I wanted to do was make it a big rant. So
you've gone far beyond that. So just go for it, dude.
We're just ranting away.
Put on your WWE belt and start going off like it's a promo.
Just start cutting promos on people.
You hearing me, brother?
But, and don't get me wrong. Like, you're at a competition... And it's okay to be competitive with people.
You should be competitive.
That's the point.
But you're competing against yourself, basically.
Yeah, mostly. But there's I'm not going to say there's a right and a wrong way, but the way that you need to determine how you need to compete shouldn't be, dictated by your attitude. It should solely be based on your ability, and it should be solely based on what you can add to the sport, what you can add to the platform. How attractive can you make powerlifting? And it's going to be made through your interactions with people. It's not going to be made. It's not going to be as made through your result on the platform. It's going to be made by how you treat people. It's going to be made by how you converse, how you talk about the sport, how you talk about people, how you talk about your competitors, how you talk about your passion. That to me, that's like a wildfire. It spreads very fast.
Yeah, and it's one that almost feeds itself. Like it has its own fuel and oxygen. Yeah. I mean, as long as you dump that emotion into there, like you're gonna be driven.
Josh, this is a question for you.
Yes.
Because I don't know, I don't like to videotape myself like a lot of people do in training. I do occasionally.
Yeah.
To me, it's a distraction,
and it can be a bit narcissistic.
But to me, it's just a distraction.
Yeah,
I don't want to be preoccupied with a damn camcorder.
Yeah.
But whenever I'm approaching, let's say, 700 plus pounds on the bench.
Yeah.
What do I really look like?
Honestly, when it comes down to it, like, you're fairly jovial, you're talking, and then once you decide that, hey, I'm going to lift in 2 minutes, it kind of, you sink into yourself, and then it gets very, very focused. and then you're not taking anyone's crap. If someone's telling jokes, you'll cut your eye at them pretty quickly, and it gets very, very. It's like a quiet before a storm. It just like kind of sucks the energy into the room and focuses at the bench press, and then you just hit it.
Yeah, but do I get real worked up and amped up and like
no.
jacked?
It's like a you could tell that it's like a bomb inside, but it's just
waiting to be detonated.
It's purely business on the outside.
Yeah, I imagine myself as like an angel of God standing before the gates of hell and just waiting for that gate to open up, and I'm
Talk
ready to
about
just
narcissism.
start murdering stuff.
Yes, you're not Jeff Snyder.
No, I'm not. But Jeff Snyder, he's Jeff Snyder.
Anyway, but yeah, no, Brady approaches this like he's very calm, very, very programmatic about it. It's
well, thank you, sir.
It's a way of looking at it because you see it at weight rooms, and if it works for you, cool, getting slapped in the face. I'm not really one of those guys, but whatever works you up. But you're expending lots of energy like showing off for the crowd, which at powerlifting meets there's like 4 people.
And really like the last and this is just an opinion, but the last thing powerlifting needs is a bunch of meatheads running around, hooting and hollering, getting slapped around, punching each other, whatever it takes for them to get jacked
this
up.
Isn't, the program, where people are spitting in each other's mouth, which is a great movie.
And that scowl that people have on their faces, that needs to go.
Well, unless they're natural.
Yeah, I can understand if you're in a cage, you're an MMA fighter, but I'm sorry, people, you're a strength. Yeah, you're a strength athlete. You're not a damn MMA fighter. You're not a badass.
You can show some teeth while listening to Block Dahlia Murder. I do all the time.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying though? Like it's not like you're going in there and you're gonna fight.
Yeah, true. Sometimes I look pissed off because I'm cutting weight and I'm thinking about biscuits and gravy.
You're just hangry. I hate being hangry. That's why. Hey, I'm glad that I could go from 242 to 264.
Yeah, so you can eat.
I knew I didn't want to really go up to 275.
You want to go up to 275.
So I'm kind of thankful that the IPF kind of went against the grain of American powerlifting, I should say. And make the weight classes different and change them, make them more competitive. I think they went from 10 to 8 weight classes.
Yeah, they cut them down.
And it's like, and what's funny is like you'd think that would build more competition, but it kind of didn't.
Well, people like to be chubby.
I
are one of them.
I are one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, you're kind of. I think the correct term is chubba cuddly.
These things happen.
Where did that word come from? You created the word chubba cuddly.
That came from when we were trying to design shirts for myself. The Cinnabear shirts.
And it was XXC, extra chubba cuddly.
Those I sold like 5 of those.
You did.
Yeah. And we all wore them to the meet, and everyone enjoyed them very much.
Mine somewheres.
And that kind of gets into Brady's point about attitude. Like, we're coming in there, we're joking around, we're enjoying ourselves. I mean...
Dude, we are getting on people's nerves.
Oh, yeah, because they're like, why are you happy? Why are you doing this? And I know when I'm going to go up to like go squat, like I'm going to get pissed off and focus for about 30 seconds.
And you know why? You know why we're happy is because we know our abilities and we know what we're going to be able to do.
Tested them and tested them.
We are
if I've never squatted 550 in the freaking weight room, I'm not going to try that in a competition. I'm not going to set any weight up that I'm going to bomb.
Unless you absolutely had to go for it, you'd go for it.
Yeah.
But
agreed. I mean, there's always exceptions.
It's because we know our abilities, we know our limits, and when we feel it, we test it. If we don't feel it, then we back it off.
Yeah.
We're
not like Bishop from the X-Men here. No. He doesn't know his capacity.
But it is knowing your ability.
Oh, agreed. So, I mean, we've kind of ranted on that, but right now it's the 12th of January. Yeah. So let's talk about training. I mean, most of us have taken some time off. We had the NAPF meet here in November. I know myself. I'm just now recently getting back into a normal routine in the gym.
Yeah.
Brady, probably the same thing. Why don't you tell us about the break that you took and how you did at NAPF and things like that?
Well, NAPF, I trained pretty hard for. I was training with the world record in my crosshairs, the 264-pound IPF world record. And I went for it on a 3rd attempt, and I locked it out, and it was deemed no lift by 2-1. I got 1 white light. It's about as close as you could get to the world record. And, I'm not going to say I don't think I was shooting for the moon.
No, that was within your
because
capability.
I've exceeded that. multiple times.
Yeah, in the gym.
But people got to understand too, what you hit in the gym, those
It's
are perfect.
different.
Those are perfect training conditions.
And you don't have people looking at you.
And a good athlete cannot just compete in their backyard. They can compete anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. How many of us raise your hands or think about raising your hands and maybe in your hand?
Yeah.
Your gym lift is bigger than your competition lift.
And it's just
if it's the other way around, like tell us your secret.
Yeah, and think about the curve balls that are thrown at you at competitions.
Oh yeah. Oh, like your foot came up.
Happen.
You're like, my foot, it didn't come up. No, it rotated more than 15 degrees.
It's like, oh crap. Okay.
Red light's a red light.
Yep. It's yeah. But after that meet, I was happy with that result. I actually
You locked it out pretty strong.
If that's the closest, obviously that's the closest you can get to a world record without having one.
Yeah.
And if that's all I get for the rest of my career, that's all I get. And I'm not going to say I'm content, but if I lost my right arm tomorrow, I'd be pretty damn happy with what I've accomplished.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
But after that meet, I decided a couple of things. You know, I was training through, I don't even want to say injuries, but just some severe pains in my shoulders.
Which one would have? I mean, when you're handling weight, I mean, in any sport that you're serious about, you're going to have aches, pains, injuries. Mm-hmm. You got mental issues where, like, you
just got to deal with it. Yeah. And when you got guys and powerlifters, weightlifters do the same thing. They train for months at a time without taking even a week off.
Yep.
And I think the last time I took even just a month off, I know that sounds like a lot of time. The last time I took a month off was like around 2010. My very next competition was that competition we talked about in one of those interviews was at the Arnold Classic. I benched 640. And then the following week, and I felt like I lifted terribly, but the following week I lifted 673.
Yep.
And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that I took a month off. You know, our bodies are breakable. We're not unbreakable. We're not invulnerable to pain. We're not invulnerable to injury. We are actually very fragile.
If we weren't, I'd be a vigilante.
And what's funny is the stronger I have gotten, it seems like the more fragile I get.
I mean, that makes sense. Think about like just the repetition of the high weight, the volume, you know. Yep. Our bodies really aren't designed to do that, and we're forcing it into something that's awkward for it.
You're trying to make your body adapt to something that it's not designed to do. And what's cool about the body is that it can.
Yeah.
And that's pretty remarkable. But
and you're doing it without the aid of like any healing factors, if you will.
Yeah, you don't have Wolverine's healing factor, nor do you have adamantium skeleton.
He could just lock out a ton, couldn't he?
Gosh, he's a feral, awesome guy,
dude. If you lined up his bones, like he could hold. How much weight do you think Wolverine could
everything?
Hold? Like, would you think he would be stronger than the Hulk just holding?
He could hold at lockout more than the Hulk could hold at lockout.
And the rationale behind that is because adamantium is essentially unbreakable, and just on lined up bones, it's not on the muscle, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Hulk is the strongest, but anyways,
yeah, because he's fueled by rage, and his capacity for rage would grow.
Just imagine if he was a ginger.
Oh, dude, he would hate himself so much.
He could jump from planet to planet.
Oh, dude, just take off.
What were we talking about?
I don't know, but
I have the attention span of a gnat.
We were talking about training and how you.
Month off.
Yes, month off.
Month off.
Just healing.
It's important, and it's because some of us have gone through just years and years of physical abuse from weights and iron and training.
Yeah,
and if it's foolish to think, and it's very egotistical to think that we can't break.
Oh yeah,
and we have got to take a little bit of time off
from time to time. And I mean, how many times do we program that in our training? I mean, it's not something that's ingrained in the powerlifting culture, really.
You know, I can't speak for all of powerlifting, but for a lot of us at the Belleville Weightlifting Club, usually we end up taking about a week off.
Maybe after a meet.
I usually don't touch a weight for a week. The next week is more of like an introductory week. I know I'm going to, I've just taken a week off.
Doing stuff that you haven't done in months, years.
And hey, people, I understand that if I take a month off, I'm going to get weaker. That's basic. That's brain.
But you're also going to heal.
Common sense. But I'm going to heal. And I'm not just talking about, the point of our sport is to get strong and get bull strong, but you can't live bull strong if you got joint problems, if you got tendinosis, or if you got severe inflammation. You're just it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to manage it. And if you can come to a point where you can take time off and manage it to a level that you can sustain for a couple more competitions, you're going to see improvements.
And it's beyond the physicality side of it too. I mean, it's hard to be mentally sharp and prepared to go into the weight room 4 or 5 days a week, lifting heavy weights. Like iron has to take some time off to be able to get sharpened. Like you can't go to battle with the same sword every day. You got to, take some time off, reflect, reprogram your workouts, enjoy some life, and then re-engage because, this is the time to patch up anything that you've had issues with. Like, if you're with someone that doesn't really necessarily understand the sport, this is, hey, I got some time off and, we're going to go out.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
And it's refreshing. It allows you to reflect, recharge.
And you come back a new person.
You do. And a lot of times I hear about people, and it's sad. I hear about people who've lost their spark for training or competing. And it's sad. And I think it's because they've just burnt themselves out.
They beat themselves down.
And, you got to take a break. Why do you think vacations exist for work?
Or in theory
if
should.
You work consistently without taking a vacation, aren't you? I mean, you're eventually going to your workout, your capacity could potentially just go kaput. You could just die off.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just spinning your wheels and you're just going through the motions, and you should not go through the motions in training ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just going back to work. I mean, if you're working 8 hours solid, you're probably not as productive as if you take a couple 10-minute breaks in there. And just if you think about a mesocycle, kind of like an 8-hour workday, like you can't go hardcore constantly. You need little breaks in there. And then after mesocycle ends, you need to freaking take some time off, reflect about what you need to do, what your goals are, what was strong about your last mesocycle, what was weak about your last mesocycle. Well, talk to your friends that you were working out with, and then, as long as they don't BS you, they'll tell you like what was weak, what was good.
Yeah. And
then take all that stuff and let it mature in your head, and then go attack it again.
Exactly. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. And I've had conversations with people, and God, I could have been, Josh. I could have been a world champion. I could have been a world record holder. I could have been the.
But you weren't
the
good
Incredible
enough.
Hulk. And these people are sitting there saying, "I don't advise you taking a month off."
Yeah.
Why not? Like, what is there something written in stone that I haven't read yet?
Because you'll just lose it.
Yeah, you'll just lose your strength. And it's like, well, no crap. I'm going to lose strength if I don't train for a month.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, and I'm not saying like take a month off all the time.
No,
I'm not saying that.
Wait. Let's be fair. Like you hadn't taken a month off in
Probably 3 years.
Yeah. And I took
years.
about a month off too. And like I hadn't taken that long off in about 2 years.
But, I was lifting at the point where it felt like there were knives sticking out of my shoulders.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Well, come on. You can live through that pain. Don't be a pansy.
That's like really.
Don't be a Nancy.
Pain can severely inhibit movement patterns.
Yep.
And when you're talking about world record weights, you got to move that as efficiently and as smoothly as possible, methodically.
Comfort's a factor.
And if you're not fluid and your shoulders are screaming at you the whole time through the whole range of motion, that's a big problem.
Well, not only that, I mean, you're programming your training for the next lift, but you're also thinking about 5 years down the road, 7 years down the road. Think about how bad it would be 7 years down the road if you didn't take any time to heal. Would you even be able to compete if it there's an exponential curve or even a linear line that goes up?
Lifters, you got to stop thinking about just your next competition. You got to think about longevity.
Yeah. And that fits in the quality of life too.
To develop, at least in the IPF, to a top tier lifter, most of the time it takes years and years and years. It's not going to be something that you achieve within 2 or 3 years. And I'm not going to downgrade like sub junior and junior lifters. It's when you're talking about open competition, the best of the best. Those guys have taken years to cultivate the strength and the power that they have. And it never happened overnight. And they've all been injured. I've been injured many times. I have pulled both pecs probably at least a dozen times each. I've torn both pecs.
You've torn them?
Times, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, and it's
No wonder your boobs look weird.
Yeah, they kind of look funny. But it's you got to be willing to bite the bullet, take some time off, heal up. It's about healing, and you're never going to be able to just with few exceptions. There are some people that can just keep training and training.
Well,
and
I mean
training
that's law of individual differences, and
yeah,
when it comes down to it, don't abuse it. Don't well, I trained hard for this mesocycle, I can take the rest of the year off. No,
exactly.
From time to time, program it in there. Make sure to get that rest on the weekends, things like that, because you're only going to come back sharper if you do take that time. That goes for work. That goes for pretty much everything. You can't humans aren't designed to just go full bore all the time.
Yeah. But talking back to a world-class athlete, they can go full bore more often than an average person.
Well, they've also increased their work capacity.
They've increased their work capacity, their abilities, their central nervous system is at a place where they can recruit so many muscle fibers towards the movement they're putting their body in. It's so efficient, it's sick. And it takes a long time to develop that strength.
Yeah, I mean, even if you start training in your early teens, it takes to your 40s. I mean, I've read some stuff about that.
There are people who are outliers.
Yeah, of course.
Mike Tushier was strong young. Preston Turner, Ian Bell, those guys were strong really young.
Yeah,
and I'm not. Hey, they worked their butts off.
Yeah.
To get to the point where they're at.
We're talking about the normal populace. Now, we're not talking about freaks. And yes, you guys are freaks in the good way. Please don't strangle me if you meet me. Please.
You'll just want to strangle him anyway.
Yeah, I'm not well liked, but I got Ryan Carrillo on my back.
What's up, Ryan? I know you're out there listening.
Either that or you're drinking some Shiner, listening to some Lamb of God.
Remember that time I thought he was going to powerbomb that kid through
dude, yeah, okay. We were at Bench Nationals in Palm Springs, which that was a fun time. We were all around the table. I was telling some jokes with Jeff Snyder. Let's not forget Mitch, because Mitch is cool as hell too.
Mitch.
Dude, you my boy. So yeah, this little skinny kid comes up to Brady and Jeff Snyder and Ryan Carrillo, who had just benched 6'11". He had just broken the 600-pound mark.
I believe a junior.
Yeah.
He was 7 feet tall with an 8-foot wingspan.
Kid, let's call him Spencer. I don't know why. Just Spencer feels right. So Spencer's just jaw-jacking about these basically giant men about how he can double his body weight and blah, blah, blah. What can we do? Yeah. Meanwhile, he's talking to some of the strongest men in the world. He's basically spitting into the bear cage. And then Ryan Carrillo just stands up and the kid disappears.
Holy crap. I was scared.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
I was scared.
Yeah. He wrapped one hand around his neck. I mean, nothing happened, but
yeah, if I have a picture of them, I'll put it up. I have to blur that kid's face out.
Just put black over his eyes, like the AC/DC album,
little X's.
Yeah, no, just the one black line. Remember Wild On? The thing that you used to watch in high school with Jules Asner. So she was so hot, but dude, Brooke Burker's way hotter. She was more ethnic. Oh, so beautiful. So anyway, Ryan, he almost power bombed this kid, and actually, Jeff Snyder was just shaking his head, just what the hell?
Yeah. That was bad.
Yeah, and then some weird kid came in that was really drunk and high, and he started talking about MDMA or Molly.
Yeah, that was weird.
For those of you that listen to the hip hop.
Water?
Yeah, I thought it might have been laced, but I had a couple drinks and I really needed water.
Do you think that Ryan Carrillo has the strength of a Wookiee?
I'm gonna go more with a Tauntaun.
Okay.
I mean, because I thought he smelled bad on the outside.
That's just a joke, Ryan. You smell great.
Yeah, and
it's very intoxicating.
I hope the next time I see you, your beard is longer than Rip Van Winkle's.
Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
So yeah. Anyway, so we were talking about Ryan Carrillo. I don't know. We kind of side project. So for those of you first turning into this, all two of you. We mentioned this in an interview, so if we're repeating, it's because we've been at my house for a while. But we enjoy the beverages. Right now, we are drinking a Southern Tier creme brulee stout. It's a Imperial creme brulee stout. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, it's got cows on it, so you know it tastes good.
Oh, dude, cows are amazing. So,
It's got vanilla
hey,
beans in it.
if you got the chance, crack open a beer. Hopefully it's not Bud Light because, really, seriously.
And we, that's another thing we like to do is we're not
Enjoy
afraid
ourselves.
We're not afraid to have a good time. We're not afraid to eat a steak, drink a beer or two,
Eat a pork taco.
and have a good time.
Yeah.
So, just taking that month off was great. What's funny? It's only taken me about 3 weeks to bounce back because my last training day, Thursday, I dominated. Raw weights. I didn't even have a handoff.
Yeah, and so what are you doing? How did you end up planning your template for this one? And what meet are you planning to peak for?
Well, I got the Arnold Classic next, and I got probably 6 good training weeks left.
And actually, some of you that are listening to this may see us there. So if you do, say what's up.
Come say hi to us.
And say what's up to Jeff Snyder.
Give us a shout out. I'm hopefully going to be able to bring at least my iPad to be able to take some audio.
Just look for large men in Iron Authority t-shirts.
Yeah. And you going to go? You going to try to go?
Yeah, I got a call from a Texan that said I better come.
Oh, nice. You know who else might come?
Who's that?
The beautiful Beth Stewart, my wife.
Yeah,
be nice.
Is she going to force you to get a tattoo on your stomach so you can Care Bear stare at her?
You know what? Probably.
What would it be? Would it be a rainbow barbell?
Oh crap! You're probably right. Probably would be something like that.
Beth, please take notes and force him to do this. I'll feed him as much alcohol as I have to.
Hopefully, it's not a tattoo like Sean's, where it started as a sparrow and he gained so much weight it ended up as a condor.
I thought it was a pterodactyl.
Sorry, Sean. Anyways,
he's gonna murder me. He's a fine hunter, and I'm gonna go crying to him when the zombie apocalypse comes.
He's probably gonna come back to training this coming week. Sean,
really?
Yeah. Sean, if those of you who don't know Sean Bales, he's a 600 plus bench presser in the USAPL. Sean is he's a very strong guy, super heavyweight. He's been one of my training partners for a very long time.
At least over a month.
But he takes he's another one of those guys that takes time off. He takes 2 to 3 months off a year.
Yeah, and he's benching in the mid sixes.
Drug free.
So except for the blood that he drinks from the freaking deers that he kills. Does that count as anything?
Do you think he does that?
Dude, I think it's like Tatanka, where he just eats the heart.
Do you think he cuts the tongue off and just chews on it for a while?
Like dip?
he just has a tongue just floating in his mouth.
Yeah, dude, it's just he grinds it up like fine cut snuff Copenhagen, throws it in there, and just climbs up the tree.
Oh God! Do you think he just has a cup of lemon juice? He just throws it in the lemon juice, and the acidity of the lemon juice cooks the meat.
No, because he's never had a fruit or vegetable in his life.
Right. He eats solids.
Yeah.
He never eats a salad. He always eats a solid.
I thought it was always taco salads where he was taco meat. Dude, he's gonna murder me too.
They're 1,000 calories. Sean, we love you. We're gonna have you on this show.
Yeah, please bring your A game and talk about how you're gonna try to save us from the zombie apocalypse because you know how to cook
and
hunt
guns
and bows and arrows.
Yeah, that's good. Bows and arrows.
Yes,
good to have.
Yes,
in your arsenal.
And you drive a truck.
A trunk or a truck?
Truck.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all nasally, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're talking about training. So Arnold, and then you got the world meet, right?
Yeah, the Arnold Classic. I'm testing out a template that seems to be working pretty good. I'm in the shirt every week. Every third week, I'm out of the shirt. So 2 weeks in the shirt, 1 week out of the shirt. I'm benching 2 days a week.
Notice rest.
Yeah, I'm benching 2 days a week. I'm still lifting on the other two I'm still lifting with my lower body. It's
lifting tacos does not count.
Squatting. I noticed that deadlifting has been pulling on my bicep insertions in my shoulder, and it's bad, very painful. So I've been doing more squatting, not very heavy, just enough to sustain. I need to put about an inch pad in my ass so I can keep it on the bench. That's what I got called for on my world record. My butt came off the bench,
dude. Yeah, you could have put a dump truck under that thing.
Yeah.
It's all right though.
So yeah, that's what I'm. So I'm still squatting, still training pretty hard with the lower body. I used to train the bench 4 days a week. And I saw, honest to God, people, I saw my best results when I trained the bench press 4 days a week. That's when I saw.
But you were still monitoring your strength and your stress.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we train with this concept of stress management, where we assign volume and intensity to a certain stress level. So low stress would be low volume, low intensity. High stress would be high volume, high intensity.
And
moderate,
we do rate of perceived exertion too. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, we use a concept that has been popularized by the reactive training system. So it kind of allows us to be able to gauge where our strength is at pretty much any given training session. I know that sounds kind of weird, but if you're interested, visit Mike's website. It's www.reactivetrainingsystems.com. He's got the reactive training manual. It's a very profound piece of training literature. Mike is in my opinion, hey Mike, shouting out for you. In my opinion, I think Mike might be a genius. He'd probably just smile and laugh at me if we were in the same place. But Mike has really put something together that is real, that works, that you continually see results on. Most programs are designed to just take you to a certain point in your training, and there's really not much ability to change variables, to spark an adaptation, to make growth happen, to let growth happen, to let the adaptation happen. So Mike's developed a really good system, and I'm very proud to be able to talk about it on my radio show.
Yeah, this is something that Brady introduced me when I hit the scene here in St. Louis in 2009, and I had no concept of what was going on, and he broke it down to me like the fool that I am, and it's actually quite genius in the sense of how you do it and manage your stress. And it's kind of funny because I was talking to someone that I work with, and that person is a marathoner, and then I've talked to other ultra marathoners, and the similarities between powerlifting and marathon runners is actually kind of similar in this, because they're managing their nervous system and their endocrine system and things like that. So and then I told them about the whole RPE situation. They kind of got it right off the bat. Yeah. And some of them, I don't know if they've incorporated, but they said that they might. So we'll see if it can be transitioned to other sports.
And, and it's funny because, when we were at the last meet, the NAPF meet there.
Ah, yes, in beautiful Colorado.
Oh, beautiful,
just eating all kinds of
Colorado.
Awesome different types of animals.
Yeah, where did we have that one day?
Buckhorn Exchange.
Yeah, no, the hot
Vietnamese.
We had.
Oh, that was like Biker Pete's
or something.
Yeah, we had reindeer.
Yeah, reindeer.
The reindeer was phenomenal. Good. And what was it? It was quail and something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah, dude. But the Buckhorn Exchange, for those that are not familiar with the area, there's this awesome restaurant there. Let's see. We started off with rattlesnake. Brady got some elk. And,
elk. I had 4 peppercorn elk steak.
Yes, and me and our buddy Ajay got buffalo prime rib. Quite phenomenal.
And we had rattlesnake dip.
We did. We also got something else. We did
alligator tail.
Oh yes, alligator.
It's pretty good.
Yes, I went to grad school in Colorado, and I've been there several times, and I've had lots of crazy meats there.
Yeah,
quite worth going to.
Did you know that I've wrestled an alligator?
Is this a euphemism for?
No, I've actually wrestled. I didn't wrestle an alligator. I harvested an alligator.
Does that mean you pulled a guy with really scaly skin out of the water?
No.
Was he like Killer Croc
No,
from the Batman series?
No, I was in Mississippi at a course for a job that I have, and
that is not being a husband.
Yeah, not yeah. And there was this alligator farm. And my buddy and I went to it. His name was Phil. He was a little Filipino guy.
Phil the Filipino?
Phil the Filipino, yeah.
Dude,
awesome.
are you making this up?
I swear to God.
What's awesome. Up, Phil? That's, yeah,
Phil
awesome.
Listen to this. Anyways, Phil, we ended up getting in this airboat at this Croc, or this alligator
You were
farm.
in an airboat?
Yes.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, this guy was doing like these weird, he was driving.
Did you feel like Burt Reynolds at any point?
Oh, I actually, when I was a little kid in Louisiana, I went to the USS Kidd with my granddad because he was in World War II.
Yeah.
and we would visit like battleships and submarines and things. Well, we ended up visiting the USS Kidd, and out in the country there was this croc, I keep calling it croc. Alligator's not a crocodile; it's an alligator.
They're similar in species.
Similar, yeah, we went to this alligator farm, and they actually had the boat from that Burt Reynolds movie. Was it called Alligator?
I think it was called Burt Reynolds' Badass Alligator Hunter.
Yeah, I think it was just called Alligator with Burt Reynolds. Anyways, they had that boat, the very boat.
Yeah, did you take a picture on it?
No, I didn't. I didn't care.
No,
but anyway, so we're out there.
It wasn't Smokey and the Bandit.
No, we're out there and we're trying to get these alligators in. And the funny thing is that to get the alligators to come to us, Josh, it's a food that you absolutely love to eat.
Bacon?
Marshmallows.
I don't like marshmallows all that much.
Sorry, but they float on water. So this sounds outlandish, but that's what they would feed them. And they'd go out there and they just toss marshmallows out in the wilderness, and these gators would come and eat them. It was like crack.
Wait, were they normal like marshmallows?
Yeah, just normal, just not Stay Puffs or anything. The best marshmallow on the planet, but they were just.
You've never had a Stay Puff. They don't exist. Would you eat the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
I would gnaw on his knees, dude.
Would you dip him in some sort of chocolate?
That's what they should have done in Ghostbusters.
Should have.
Anyway, so yeah, we're out there and this alligator comes. Alligator had one eye. This story just sounds outlandish.
Dude, no. You're already starting. You're laying out the premise for Happy Gilmore.
No, honest to God, this alligator had one eye. The long
Did he bite
short,
off some dude's hand too? And he had a mahogany hand.
Long story short,
his name Carl Weathers.
Hurricane Katrina knocked a hole in the side of this farm, and they lost like 50 gators. So they're going out and they're trying to bring them back, when they would go out. And they got this alligator out with one eye. It was about 7 feet long. And the guy goes, "Hey, you guys mind if we bring it back?"
White Lightning. Is that the name of the movie? White Lightning?
I don't remember.
I think there's a fan boat on it.
But
his name was Gator Mikulski.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, go ahead. We're talking about Burt Reynolds.
Remind me about a Burt Reynolds movie I saw later. So anyways,
White Lightning?
No, I don't see any gators in it. So we're out there, and the guy goes, "Okay, what I'm going to do is grab it by the tail, and I'll throw it in the boat." And I'm looking at him, I'm like, "Awesome." And Phil's looking at me, he's like, "No, we can't do that. We can't do that." And I'm like, "All right, Phil, well, just stay back, and nothing's going to happen." So he grabs the gator by the tail, throws him in the boat. And the dude that was running the boat, there's two of them. There's one that was at the front. Is that the bow?
That would be the bow.
Thank you. Josh is a seaman. And then there's a guy operating the big fan engine. And
at the butt?
Yeah, the butt.
The butt of the boat.
So he had
stern.
The stern. He had to manipulate the boat to stay away from this one very territorial
What, did he talk
alligator.
Dirty to it? Like, you're not good enough. You can't go over there. That type of manipulation?
No, they weren't going to bring the boat over there because apparently there was some gigantic territorial alligator.
Like a 50-footer?
It was
like one from Lake Placid.
It was they claimed it was like 14 feet. I don't know if that's big or not.
It sounds pretty big.
That sounds to me.
You could fit in that belly.
That was half. That was twice the size of the gator that we were bringing into the boat.
And you're like, holy crap! This is a giant.
I'm cool with
one-eyed
7-foot one.
Yeah.
I have a theory that one-eyed gator was mean as shit.
Well, you'd be pissed too if you were one-eyed.
Well, you had to be mean
because you're a gator.
No, because you have one eye and you're a gator.
Do you think his friends called him Odin? Because he had one eye. Was he the lord of all the other gators? And the 14-footer was Thor.
Yeah, and Thor had a little
tiny
hammer for his little gator hand.
Yeah, a little tiny gator hammer with a gator skin case and gator skin boots and like locks of like blonde hair.
Anyway,
we're talking about like Norse mythology gators.
Yeah, so we end up pulling this gator in the boat, and the guy he's trying to get the boat away from this guy's
mouth
area, this big gator's area, and this gator's loose in the boat. He let the tail go, and I'm looking at.
Did you punch him in the face and you'd be like, "What up?"
No, dude, you don't you stay away from that mouth.
Well, his name's Odin.
Yeah,
I would
you stay away from Odin's mouth. He will bite your face off. Anyways,
or whatever close,
or whatever's hanging down.
Hopefully, you're wearing pants.
Yeah. So. Yeah. The guy that pulls him in the boat, he's like, "Hey, so he's busy with the boat, so I'm just gonna flip him around and can you jump on his back?" And I'm like, "What?"
Did he sound like a gruff surfer guy?
Yeah, he did.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, he's
I just smoked so many Marlboros. Let's do this.
And you gotta understand, dude. This gator's mouth was wide open, and it was hissing like it was.
Did his breath smell like dead fish?
I don't know. It smelled like a swamp.
It smelled like my watch band.
Your watch band actually looks like gator skin.
Yeah, I think it's embossed. I can't afford gator skin.
Oh, cool. So, so I end up jumping on this thing's back because the guy was like, oh, he's 250 pounds. He can handle it. So he took
Did you
his
scream
t-shirt off.
Geronimo? Did you take off your shirt?
No, I said, Hiawatha!
Wait. I'm picturing this like a WWE
Dude, it was
match.
terrible.
Like you're coming
It was
into the ring, like the
completely-
fan boats the ring, and then you're throwing your shirt around
Dude, it
like
was
John Cena.
uncoordinated. It was such an uncoordinated event. And Phil, the little Filipino guy,
Did he drop
he
a
was
elbow?
He was like, imagine if you're in a haunted house with a girl that can't hack like horror movies, and she's just holding on to you. So I got this little Filipino guy like hanging on to me, and he's scared out of his mind. And this gator's like facing me with his jaws wide open. The guy turns him by his tail, flips the gator around, takes his shirt off, throws it on the gator's head, and then I proceed to jump on it, and then that guy jumps on his head.
Were you like, surprise?
I don't know, but I tell you what, man, that I felt like I was close to dying.
Huh?
It was strange, but yeah, that was my gator story.
I felt close to dying after I finished off a couple burgers once. I just ate a lot.
The heart attack burger.
I couldn't finish it. Well, I've had
the heart attack burger.
Well. There's the coronary burger, and then there's the bypass burger, and the coronary is down in Atlanta, where Bench Nationals is going to be. So I'm going to take all you chubby guys out to the Vortex. Oh, dude, we're going to just destroy some burgers.
What if Shane goes?
Dude, Shane's going to have like a foodgasm, and his eyes are going to roll back in his head like the Undertaker.
Oh, that happens when he eats.
Dude, I can hear the Phenom's music come on as he eats. It's like, you hear the gong as he takes his first bite.
Yeah.
Dude, he might murder us too.
No, he won't. He's too nice. He's a good dude.
I don't know. So, yeah, and then there's the bypass burger at the Heart Attack Grill. They used to have one in Chandler, Arizona, near where I kind of grew up. And then it's now only in Las Vegas because, like, the unofficial 400-pound guy that was a mascot died. It was pneumonia, but, if you were 350 pounds or more, you could eat for free.
Wow.
Yes, Shane, if you weigh that much and you want to go, we're down. I haven't been to Vegas since MGM Grand was opened.
Shane's a very massive man. Shane himself has, I think the most I've ever seen him bench is like 585.
I thought it was like 18 women because women love him.
Women love Shane Hopkins.
I think it's pheromones.
He's got a new dog. Did you know that? Is it like a Shih Tzu?
Really? Does he carry it around in a purse or a fanny pack?
A man bag?
A satchel?
Satchel?
What about a bandolier?
That would be cool. Just a bandolier.
Just like
full
a
of
bandolier,
puppies.
like 6 puppies.
Like a Chewbacca bandolier with puppies just hanging
And then he can go like, yeah, you do it better than me.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so we've gone like way.
Dude, we are weird individuals.
I hope you enjoy the fact that we're trying to bring some like flavor and
color,
attitude,
man.
because like
It's
sometimes you run into athletes and you're just like, all they do, I train, and it's like kind of boring.
lift weight.
Because I mean, this is kind of how it is at the gym. Like we'll be like benching, or like, well, Brady's benching a lot. I'm benching just a fraction of what he is, and like we'll be talking about some weird crap, like like who's your favorite freaking like My Pet Monster spinoff?
Yeah, and it's funny because you talk about like being mentally tough. If you're mentally tough enough to put up with this type of conversation and then some,
You can come to the BWC
and then go and lift a damn PR. You belong at the BWC.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why we have fun. We have some ridiculous conversations. I've actually had some like ridiculously deep conversations. I've learned stuff about investing. I'm like, I should readjust my 401k so I'm scheduled to retire in 2030, and then go as aggressively as possible. And then I've had also conversations that I cannot repeat on this thing, or people will judge me horribly.
They're gonna judge us anyway.
True, but if they only heard,
it's bad. But it's fun. We have a good time there.
Yes.
Anyways.
So Brady's training for the world team.
Yeah, I actually made the United States World Bench Press Team 2013, Kaunas, Lithuania. And the theme for the Arnold Classic is a world record. The theme for Lithuania is either to win or just get some team points. I'm going to shoot for team points first. And then, if I'm feeling it, maybe go for gold.
It's not going to be look sexy in your singlet.
I'm going to try to do that.
In your little unitard.
If I can get my belt on.
Yeah, that was a feat the other day.
Jeez. Yeah, that month I took off, I gained some weight.
Dude, the holidays, dude, I had
tight.
so much fudge.
Did you?
Oh, dude.
What else did you eat? I had peanut butter pie, a whole one.
I had some In-N-Out there, Chancherina.
Wow.
And I had some, dude, I took my parents to Korean food. I freaking love Korean food.
Have you seen Talladega Nights? You look like a ginger Mike Honcho.
Oh, I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey.
I spread my butt cheeks for Playboys, Mike Honcho.
Dude, I kind of want to throw you. I want to throw a banh mi sandwich at you right now, except I don't have like a delicious Vietnamese sandwich.
If nobody knows what banh mi is, you gotta eat one,
dude. Get the spicy pork.
My God.
Okay,
spicy
for those that you don't
pork.
know, it's a Vietnamese sandwich, and it's incredible because the French colonized Vietnam and they brought delicious bread. So it's like this French fusion with Vietnamese food, and then like if you can get some like boba to drink it, not Boba Fett. We're talking about boba drink, where they put like just big globs of tapioca in like a fruit thing.
Yeah, it's like tapioca pudding balls.
Dude, here in St. Louis, there's a bubble drink place.
Bubble tea.
Yeah, I got a durian. It was not bad. Or durian.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, that's that stinky fruit that like in Singapore you can't bring on. Like I had some like raw stuff when I was in Malaysia.
You're more brave than
dude.
me.
It was terrible. I made my friend sniff my fingers.
Does it taste good?
It tasted like rotten bananas and soiled freaking onions. It was terrible.
Sounds
and
like
like fish gel. And it's got a consistency.
Why would you want to eat that?
Because when are you ever going to get the opportunity? It was like if you got the opportunity to like give like Roseanne.
It sounds like durian probably tastes like
kiss.
crap. And you ate
it was not good. It was not good. Like, you know, if you got the opportunity to like give like Roseanne a big old wet smooch, you'd probably do it just to say you've done it, right? I would.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'd do it, and I'd be like, yeah, I totally like made out.
But
with
ladies
Roseanne.
and gentlemen, Josh would do things most men would not do.
Yes, like
true.
wear pink. Anyway, we just keep going off subject.
I got Worlds coming up, and that's it's going to be a good event. There's man, we got a stacked team.
And who's on the team?
I believe. Hang on a second,
dude. Can you even reach out the phone?
I don't know,
dude.
I wonder. I think I have a text on it. I doubt I have a text on it.
That would imply that people
super
actually
heavyweight. We have Jonah Leo.
Jonah. That guy's the man.
He's a good super heavy.
He's strong.
Very nice guy. He's also an extremely analytical competitor.
Yeah.
When he trains, his training logs apparently look like mine. They're like hieroglyphics.
So he's like a freaking like accountant. Yeah. He's like Cyril Figgis.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder! And myself at the 120s. Tim Anderson at 231.
Yeah. He's like the manager, right?
Yeah. Tim Anderson's the head coach. Yeah. And then we have Adam Amola.
Yep.
Danny Thurman.
Yep.
Joe Smith.
Yep.
And I know there's how many people did I just list off? 1, 2, 3.
Like at least 2.
There's like 6 people. Yeah, there's a couple.
Do you have
more.
a promoter, like a professional wrestling promoter? Because that would be a lot cooler.
That'd be cool. We need
like
Jimmy
the mouth,
Hart.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart, the mouth of South. Now coming up is Brady Stewart going to attempt to bench press some weights. Okay, come on, guys, get into this.
No Jimmy Harts, man. That'd be cool. Maybe that could be you.
Yeah,
you go to Lithuania with
I'd
me.
have to lose a lot of weight and carry around a cane
and a megaphone.
Oh, dude, I'm loud as it is. Remember, like I could like
wear a monocle and have that same facial hair,
dude.
It'd be cool.
Dude, I look like JP Morgan.
I don't know what you look like, but it's unique to you, sir.
Dude, I gotta get rid of this thing. No woman would ever look at me again.
Then, and that's Worlds is going to be a good time. I think the United States has another good shot at winning team gold.
USA!
Yep. America! So yeah.
Okay.
And after that, got nationals, and it's just every
down
year
in
is
Atlanta.
the same. Yeah, Atlanta. That'll be fun.
We're gonna drink some beers. Go to the World of Coke. I drink every
like cocaine or like Coca-Cola.
Like Coca-Cola. There was like 140 flavors. Me and Brandon, we drank every single one. He doesn't drink soda, so he got sick as a dog. Oh, I'm just like dude.
Boy.
Some of those Asian ones are like I thought I got a cavity as I was drinking. It was ridiculously sweet. But we will try every single one. Just because we can. And we'll go to the Vortex and get some fried chicken and waffles because Gladys Knights. Oh,
Just smothered in maple syrup.
dude, I put the chicken on the waffle and then I pour some syrup over that. And then I get some, just delicious collard greens.
You like collards?
Dude, I love collards.
Oh, man.
And mac and
not
cheese.
Me. Mac and cheese is good, but collards, I just...
You like chitlins?
I like pig snoots.
Dude, I do not like the snoot.
I'm a snooter, dude. I like pig snoots. I will
weird
run a train on a pig snoot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just a mouth train?
I love it.
You and your brother, man.
Do
you like them in sandwiches or like just...
It doesn't matter, man. As long as it's slathered in barbecue
Would
sauce.
you eat a snoot on a pizza?
Ooh, I don't know if that'd be good.
Okay,
It's just texture. It's not like it tastes bad. It's just
probably
texture.
no one listens to this, but if you are outside of the area,
Yeah.
explain a snoot. Like,
All
I didn't
right.
know what the hell the snoot was.
Think about a pig's face, and it's not the nose. It's not the actual.
And we're not talking about ugly
snout.
people.
Yeah.
We're talking about actual swine.
Yeah, swine. It's not their nose. It's like the side of their face. It's like the nose where it meets the face. It's that cheek area.
Yes, so it's a pig
And
cheek.
it's not muscular. It's not necessarily like meat. It's kind of in between a
Tendon and
no.
death.
It's kind of like it borders on chewy and crunchy, and it kind of
deep
has,
fry this son of a
yeah,
bitch.
I don't know if they even do that. I think they just cook it for hours at a time.
What, they just swing a freaking magic like pole over and like, it's cooked.
Yeah. But it's
Wand. That
it's-
was the word I was looking
but
for. Wand.
It's don't think of a pork rind. I don't really care for pork rinds a whole lot, but it's like a
I enjoy
chewy
them.
and crunchy pork rindy type food.
Just slathered in barbecue sauce.
It's awesome.
Do you think JR's barbecue sauce would be good on that?
I
Good
don't
old
know. I've never
JR.
had JR's barbecue.
Neither have I. Anyway, so we're snoots. What's next? What's next on the agenda?
I don't know. Probably getting out of here.
Okay, if that's the case. Let's see. Let's run down the list. Of course, we mentioned Jeff Snyder several times. People think we're going to be insane for this man. We talked about the
You're
beer we're
insane for him,
drinking.
I'm
Adding value. Dude, just go out and like add some value to the sport or whatever the hell you do.
Have fun too.
Oh, yes. Training. We talked about Brady's training and how he took a month off and how you got to program that in. Attitude. Oh, and I'm going to be self-serving, and I use that word a lot. But I have an article out there. It's called Balance.
Yeah, it's called Balance. He's got another one called Krusty. And Josh is a very, very, he's very well liked at our club. He's very well liked when we go to competitions. Josh is a very smart individual.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
You're pretty dang smart. But what's cool is you have an ability to put it on paper.
I tried.
You have an ability to put your life, the lessons you've learned on paper, and it's very well written. It's good stuff. I
Thanks.
highly recommend it.
And just to give people the gist of what it's about, it's just trying to, as we talked about, taking breaks and things like that, just finding that balance in life. And we're all going to work, we're all going to train, and you got to figure out what's that optimum sweet spot where you are not taking away from each individual thing that you're trying to do, be it work, be it training, be it in romantic involvement and stuff like that, because they all kind of feed on each other. So that's kind of what it is. If you read it, cool. That's awesome. Feel free to shoot any comments back, if pros, cons, and I'll be posting another one. And hopefully, it's not bad stuff out there.
Yeah, and again, thanks for listening, everybody, and stay tuned. Maybe we'll probably do these every couple of weeks or so, and just try to have a good time doing it. If you want to post any comments, just post them. Just post them under the podcast article that we have up. And if you have questions there, you can do that. You can also email ironauthority@hotmail.com. You can email there. Any questions you got, you want to just have us shout out, we'll shout you out. And as always, just have a good time, stay strong, train to dominate, and have a good time.
Represent.